Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the No Lag Zone. All the fun's going to get started here in a moment, and as most of you know by watching my channel, yes, I'm pre-recording this neat stuff in the alternate filming room. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to bring your love, your laughter, your energy into what hopefully will be a really, really good show. Don't worry, we're going to get everything started here in about... I wanted to be better with that, but I'm not, so you know this channel. Alrighty, guys, it's Tuesday. We are live, and tonight it's really, really special. Not the fact that we've got Shaky on the show, because, I've been wanting to get him on for a while. Tonight is actually my 1,000th video on YouTube. And I can't think of a better person to share it with than my brother Shaky. Tonight is going to be something totally different. We're really not going to talk about beard product. We're not going to talk about content creation. We're going to talk about this man's job. He has a most, how should we say, unusual job nowadays. But we'll get to you just one moment, Shaky. We're going to do the usual stuff here. Joshua Ricks, I see you claiming first at 10:14 this morning. King Ginger, thank you, brother. Deliberately Bearded Ron, my Jersey brother. How are you, man? Now, Shaky, I know lots of people in the community know who you are. But you know what? Take a moment and introduce yourself to the world, bro.
Hey, Billy Rodgers from Billy Rodgers Beard Reviews. Y'all know me as Shaky. I joined the community about a year and a half ago. And in that time, I've made some great friends. Even got a few cute collabs with Ferocious. But I started that YouTube channel up a few months back and just looking to grow and love the community.
And you've been a good member. I mean, you've been there when I've had some problems. You've opened up your heart and everything to me and basically told me, hey, Chris, shut the fuck up. It'll be fine in a little bit. Bill Rivers, Tomahawk, how you doing? Now, for you guys who don't know what this man does for a job, he's a prison guard. So tonight, we're going to talk about jail. We're going to talk about correctional facilities. We're going to talk about all those stereotypes you see on TV, see in movies, and see whatever. He has graciously opened himself up to answer questions, but there's some things he can't, like, not mentioning inmates or court cases. And that's an obvious thing. I don't need anything getting thrown out because he may have mentioned something here. But you know what? I still am going to make fun of you. Who the fuck gave you a throne? Did you just find that in some store somewhere and went, this is Shaky's house?
Oh, this got passed down from Daddy.
Oh, okay. Makes it even better.
Yeah. This was actually our chair when I was a kid. So
Damn.
This is probably from the early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah, many moons ago, right? I'm right there with you.
It was decent made.
Yeah, last a lifetime,
What's
hey,
up,
Gabriel. All right, Billy. Let's start off with the easiest thing. What got you into corrections?
Tired of jumping job to job. I was working up in Atlanta in '96 and some at Six Flags over Georgia, and some stuff went down that I wasn't cool with. So I called and asked Mom if I could move back to the house for a while. She said, "Yeah." I came back, and then found a full-time job here, but it was a labor worker.
Yeah.
Then went to Bluebird for a while, and I got laid off. And
just have normal water.
Okay. Then I saw this ad. I said, I'll give it a shot. So I started on January 1st, 1998. My first day of employment was a holiday. So every year on my anniversary, unless I'm scheduled to work, is an off day, because you don't get holidays in this profession unless you're scheduled off for them.
Yeah, I was going to say that's outside of ranching or the military. That's one of those professions that you have no weekends or off days, or it's like you're there, you're ready to go. And I knew this was going to pop up. We're going to get this one out the way right now. Tomahawk wants to know, how is that toe of Satan?
One of the stupidest things I've ever done. But that being said, I'll be doing Little Nitro on the 20th with McMahon and them.
I love it. One of the dumbest freaking things I've ever done, but I'm going to do this one. I love it. That's awesome. All right. So has your whole correctional field been in like Georgia? Have you done any other states?
I've only lived in Georgia. I moved out of my hometown for a year in '96. Went up and worked at the Publix grocery warehouse up in Lawrenceville, not too far from Jolly Old Fat Man, and that was way before I knew him. And
Yeah.
kind of lost that job over some BS and wound up going to Six Flags for the rest of the summer up until November of that year. And, you know, that was the year of the Olympics. So we're getting to meet celebrities. We're getting to meet the athletes that's coming in from all over the world and everything. And it was fun. Made some great lifetime friends up there. And some friends have become family members. So
Nice.
Good times. I continued to go up there for years. As long as my cousins stayed up there, I kept going up to visit. And even during my early years in corrections, I was going up there still partying my butt off on the weekends and stuff like that. But what do you do in your 20s, you know?
Okay, but God, how can I put this? I know when I was young and in the military, you can stay out till like 15 minutes before your formation, show up, do your physical fitness, you're going to puke out the alcohol and be good for the rest of the day. Now, you in corrections, that had to be a bitch with a hangover, just walking through the facility with the loud and the clang, 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 clang.
Well, I've made a rule years ago when I got into it. If I'm working the next morning or whatever when I was on days, and I would go out to the club that night, 2 drink maximum.
Nice.
Because I didn't want that. One, if you get in trouble in the state of Georgia at one time, I'm not sure about now. I think now that might be a bit more lenient, but there was a 0 tolerance, and you lost your job.
Wow. Okay.
And even though when I started, I was not making, this was no way going to be a career for me. 23 years later, it is what it is. It's like you're ready for retirement, you're ready to go, but then you're thinking, that's all I've done for the last 23 years. What's next on my agenda if I can get retired?
No,
because these generations now, like the new officers coming in, if I'm not mistaken, they're not even offered a retirement because nobody is staying. I've got a few officers that came in that have been there about a year. Other than us old school officers, they don't last too much longer than that before they go off to the police department or just get fed up and quit.
Okay, I was wondering if correction officers are almost like a direct correlation to the PD. Bam, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Welcome in.
What's up, Bam? Yeah, a lot of people use it as a stepping stone. I've talked to a lot of officers here, and they all started out on corrections, and they said they would never go do the job again. They don't see how I've done it as long as I have.
Okay, now we're going to get there, and I can see this is what's getting me, though. I know that basically for your job, and I hate using this phrase, it's to control the inmates and move them from one area to another. But law enforcement is to catch them and give them over to you at some certain point. Right. I don't get how being a zookeeper translates into let's go grab, the wild gorillas in the mist. And I'm not insulting anybody who's got a record. I am just using an analogy here, guys. All right.
Yeah. I'll put it like this, and I've discussed it with several officers. Like I said, I'm friends with a few here. They are dealing with the inmates for minutes, maybe an hour or two, right?
Joe.
I get them. I'm in their habitat, their home.
Yeah.
For 14, 20 hours a day. One of me, in my building I work, there's one of me and around 240 to me. And when you got all different level types,
Right.
that's
Right.
240 something different personalities in one of mine. And although I have multiple, and they do come out nightly.
Sorry.
I mean, they do. They do. I mean, we got one dorm that I was working not this past time of surgery, but 2 years ago. They put me down in J building. That's 389 a dorm or 87 a dorm times 4. It's over 320 to 1.
Okay.
So, and then, you know, right now I've got some coworkers that are out with surgery and stuff like that. So we're running short. And you're there, you maintain the order the best you can on one side, and you're praying on the other side, don't let nothing break off tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, all right, the odds are already against you. So I get there's a lot of respect going back and forth. Now, I mean, I know you see the shows like, what is it, Scared Straight or 30 Days In on A&E where they put normal people in the jails. And
Yep.
You've always got like the knuckleheads who it just seems like no matter where they are, they want to create drama. They want to do something dumb. But as a follow-up, do you have a lot of old timers that help maintain order in their house?
Yeah. And I tell the new officers, I tell them when they first come in as cadets, or I get them to train as a new officer, I give them a couple of words of advice, and I tell them if you go by this, you shouldn't have too many problems. You're not never going to have any problems. There's always something lurking.
Yeah.
Learn the word no. Simple word, but learn it, say it, and mean it. Not only to the inmates, but to some staff too, because you're going to see staff do stuff, and although you may not want to, it's your duty to report it.
Okay.
Because the hardest part of our job isn't the fact that we're outnumbered. These guys have accepted their fate. They're paying their debt to society. It's your coworker that's making your life harder if they're a dirty coworker.
Yeah. I do have some questions about that. We will get there. Because like I said, this is the first time ever, seriously, I have planned out questions for my guest. Yardstick in the house. Code, how you doing, brother?
What's up, St. Mick? Tiki.
No, Yardstick. Remember, it's Yardstick.
Yeah.
It's not what you're thinking, but still.
Oh, I was in there. That's there.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right.
Miss McMahon had to stretch it out.
Doing, doing, doing.
If my niece is in here, don't listen to that.
Vinny P.
Hey, Bailey, if you're here.
What? See, that's why I had to have him, Vinny. Someone's finally got to make this ugly motherfucker look good. That's all I'm saying.
I do what I can, Vinny. I do what I can, old duct tape.
All right, bro. So, how can I put it? I know there's a hierarchy in the prison, like amongst the guards, and like when you start as a cadet, you got to work your way up. I don't know how to phrase it other than this, and I hate asking first responders and everyone else this question. What do you think is your most memorable moment at the prison? I don't want to ask the worst because that's usually something really, really bad, and I don't want to make you relive that. But what do you think is your best moment there?
That's fairly easy. When I came in, at the time, it was males worked the dorms. So the most memorable thing that I can remember in my 23 years, unless I get dementia or Alzheimer's, I'll never forget, was the first day the ladies started working the dorms with us.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was working G building down at Dooley State Prison. They had me floating between G1 and G2. They threw on a new rule between block movements. You had 10-minute stats at the dorm and then locked down unless you weren't orderly.
Okay.
Needless to say, the inmates didn't agree with it, or offenders as they now have to be called. They're no longer inmates in Georgia. They're offenders. Each count or each block, I would go check on the officer next door because she had a grasp on her dorm. They respected her because she had been there a while. The other officer was fairly new, and at the time, like quite a few, was scared to be in the in that situation. So she showed it, so they responded accordingly. They started what we call bucking the system.
Yeah.
Refusing to lock down, this, that, and the other. So every block, and at the time I was 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., 3 block movements. Block 1, we had to call CERT team down there to help get order.
Damn.
Block 2, we had to call them again. This time the wardens come down there to see what was going on. We had to explain it. Then lunch happened. They come back from lunch, and block 3. And I won't forget, I told her, I said, they should be all right. I'm going to go next door and check on her. Call me if you need me, because we were getting off in like 20 minutes. When block 3 hit, it was normally 1:30, 1:40, and we were getting off at 2:30. So I said, I'll go finish my day, just calm down a little bit, because, of course, tensions were high. I wasn't over there 5 minutes, and I hear her on the radio calling for assistance. So I shot through the counselor's office in the bathroom and went up in there. And, of course, a few of them decided they had had enough. We knew it was coming in one dorm, and I saw it coming all day. But there's nothing you can do to kind of squash it. It's just got to take place.
Yeah.
And they were refusing to lock down, a handful of them. And I looked over my shoulder, and I said, y'all know that? And as soon as I looked over my shoulder, here come the deputy wardens, the warden, the CERT team, other officers. The only thing I could say was, if you're not part of this, get by your MF doors.
Yeah.
The floor scattered. Boom. Everybody's by the doors. I start letting them in the cells. You had about 10 to 12 of them stayed out. I noticed I'd say 5 or 6 walked straight over to what we called the bus stop, which was just a bench of chairs right outside the TV room, and sat down. And they come in with the cameras and everything and interviewed everybody on the bus stop. Give me your name, your number, and why you're still out of your cell. I'm John Smith, number 554321,
Yeah.
And Officer Rodgers told me to get on the bench because I'm a dorm orderly. All right, go your dorm, go your room. And they went down the bench like that. Then they get to the ones out in the middle, and it's like, name, number, F that, I ain't locking down, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Boom, in cuffs, out the door. So within 10 minutes of coming back into the dorm, it was back under control, which is a great thing. I mean, most of them, I learned that day that most in a situation like that don't want nothing to do with it. They want to do their time and go about their day. But you have a few that they might be lifers, or they might be new to the system and don't care. So they were bucking the system. Well, some of them got locked down, some got transferred out. If I'm not mistaken, that officer resigned the next day because she said she wasn't going to put up with it. And
I get that. I get it. And anybody coming in late, if you have any questions about like correctional stuff, guards, whatever, put them in the chat. I will try to catch them and put them up. We do have one from Bam. He's asking, are the jails a lot different now? Like in the 90s, gangs had a structure and you knew your place. Is it like that now, or is it just like, the Wild West inside a jail?
Bam, honestly, a little bit of both. It depends on your facility. I'm not at one of the higher security camps. I'm at a medium security camp. But we hear stories from other camps. Your gangs are prevalent, and that's going to be no matter where you go, this, that, and the other. Is it the craziness that you see on TV? not at the camp I'm at, and I'm grateful. But we have our moments. That's really all I can say about that. We have our moments, and it seems that those moments are picking up. But what can you do? You go by your training, you handle the situation. As long as you walk out of there, it was a great day.
I get that. Any day you walk out the front door instead of being wheeled out, I get that. And Vinny's asking, how big are you? You seem like a pretty big fella.
Right now I am 6 foot 340.
Damn. That's like, linebacker size. I mean, no offense. I don't need Officer Rodgers trying to slam me up in my jail,
Oh, at 48, I've done my fair share of having to do that, and I leave it to the younger officers. A lot of times now, if I'm in a situation, even though I go by shaky, they give me the camera to videotape. So,
see, and I remember you telling a story a little bit ago, and I want to say it was within the last year, where you had a medical issue, and an inmate helped save your life. And I think that's awesome because of that respect level. Because you see all these times on like TV shows, like, inmates are fixing to do something stupid and a shot collar pops up and they're like, sit down like little children. Or it's like, no, not that guard, not that. No, you don't want to mess with like Officer Rodgers. No. Is that kind of true to life or?
Yeah, it's very true. It was early in my career. I was counting a dorm, and I'd gone upstairs. This was like it's happened a couple of times that stuff has happened and inmates jumped in and took over. And a couple of them I never thought would have done it because they had problems with me because I did enforce the rules. But I was counting the top range, and I got down to the end to turn and start to count the top range. And when I turned, I got lightheaded and fell up and started, my upper body went over the top of the rail.
Yeah.
The inmate right there grabbed me. His bunkmate threw him a zebra cake. And the inmate was like, Officer Rodgers, eat this. I said, I can't. Personal dealings. Thank you. He's like, if you don't, we're going to shove it down your throat. So, I was like, y'all ain't shoving nothing down my throat. And so I ate it. And within a couple of minutes, I started getting my equilibrium back, feeling better. And somebody else came in, one checked on me and one finished my count. And the inmate came downstairs to check on me, and he's like, Officer Rodgers, the only reason I did that, I'm a diabetic. And when I saw your eyes glaze over, you kind of start falling over the rail, I realized you were probably diabetic and low blood sugar. That's why we did it. So I went to the doctor, and sure enough, I was diabetic. And the doctor told me the inmate probably saved my life.
And Vinny P just got you, bro. I love this. He's like, I close my eyes and listen. It's like listening to Hank Hill chatting with Chris.
Damn it, Vinny. I've been told that since I started corrections. They're like, you sound like Hank Hill. So
okay, just one time for everybody, Shaky. Propane and propane accessories. Come on.
No, I'd like a orange soda, large pie. Damn it, Bobby. and
oh my God, that's awesome.
Grill.
T, how you doing?
Don't go over propane.
All right, man. So I guess another huge weird thing is, have you ever had to work with a juvenile detention facility?
No, and yes. Never at the facility, but we have housed juveniles from time to time where I've worked, and we normally isolate them. We normally put them straight into the isolation segregation unit because they're normally not there but a few days, and they have their own set of rules. I've talked to officers that work it, and the stories they tell, if they start fighting and stuff like that, you go in to break it up, you have to make dang sure that you're going by the book, because the cameras are on you for one, but if something's not done right, it could technically be considered abuse.
Yeah,
Charges could be filed. So no, I wouldn't want that job, because I've been assaulted, and I've had to. And my thing is, do what you have to do to make sure you walk out. And I did. I mean, did it get out of hand? No. Did I defend myself? Yeah, I had to.
well, obviously, I mean, I don't want to sound like an ass, but if you're getting assaulted, I would have a hard time believing any facility would tell a guard do nothing.
Oh yeah. Well, you get tested, Chris. Within the first
way, right?
month, like my first month there after graduating from school, I was set up, and I've told the story before to people. I'm not, like I said, I don't mention names or nothing like that, but
I don't want you to. Trust me.
a group was like, Officer Rodgers, we got a problem over in the mop closet. The spigot broke, water's going everywhere. I said, all right, I'll be there in a second. So I think I was eating lunch. I put my lunch up, and I walked over there, and when I could hear the water, and I looked, and I saw the spigot was still there. I was like, well, it's not overflowing. By that time, I got pushed from behind into the mop closet. The light, I saw 3 people, and the lights went out. You do what you have to do.
Yeah. And
2 of the guys ran out. I got the better of one. I carried him out, dropped him in the middle of the dorm, and asked if anybody else wanted to try me. I've never seen that many people just nod their head, turn around, and walk right back into the cell. Literally had no one on the floor except for the one I dropped in the middle of the floor.
so, I mean, that's almost like a rite of passage in a way, isn't it, for a new guard to get tested by the inmates and see what he or she is going to do? Because you hear the story.
In fact, I'm the only one I know that's happened to like that. And really? I don't know if maybe my attitude or the way I carried myself at the time facilitated it. But I earned a lot of respect that day. And out of that respect, and I tell the young officers too, you get the respect of the dorm, you will have your informants.
Okay.
I gained 2 that day that came up to me and told me, if they told me not to come to work, my big butt wasn't going to work. And it happened. Rodgers, don't come to work tomorrow. We know it's your Friday. Don't come. I asked why. We're not going to tell you. Just don't come. All right. So I stopped by the office on the way out, told the lieutenant, I was like, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. Rodgers, it's not even, you still got 16 hours before shift. Yeah, I'm not going to be here. And I told him why. And he knew, he knew my 2 informants. And he was like, they told you not to come? I said, yes, sir. You need to pass it to the captain, the warden, and everybody else. But if you want to mark me, leave without pay, whatever, I'm just telling you straight up right now, I'm going to call you in the morning. I'm not coming. He's like, no, you do what they told you to do. I'll look into it. I called out there after shift and talked to the supervisor. I was like, did anything happen? He was like, no. I pulled him aside when I saw him walking on the walk, and they squashed it last night. I said, okay. But if you have somebody that has not told you a story yet, and everything they've told you has been fact, listen, it could possibly save your life.
Now, speaking of that, you see on shows all the time, you see in movies, inmates fashioning weapons.
Yeah.
Really true to life. I mean, how often do you shake cells down? How much do you recover for weapons? Are you allowed to say, or?
I will say this, there's not many that don't have one on them or near them at any point of the day.
Okay.
I've seen some that'll turn your guts to water. There was one that they found shaking the cell down. They pulled his mattress back, and it was a metal rod about yay long. Let's see, about yay long, point on one end. Nice little where they tore a blanket up, made a handle for it, and they asked him who's that meant for, and I was on night shift at the time, and he came out of his mouth and said, "If Officer Rodgers ever goes to sleep, he's mine." I was like, okay. He got locked down. I was off. When they found it, I was grateful. I talked to him. He's like, "You just ride us all the time at night." I said, "Because I want y'all to get the job done. I let y'all relax a little bit. After y'all get done up, I don't put you straight to bed and stuff like a lot of officers do. I'll let y'all sit out and just relax. And y'all go to bed when you want to go to bed. As long as y'all keep working throughout the night and everything gets done." He's like, "Well, I'm just going through some stuff, and you said something that just aggravated me, and I was mad." I was like, "I ain't buying it, but I'll take your word for it. You know, it's over and done with."
That blows my mind. Like, I'm a parent, and sometimes I do enjoy pissing my son off. But it's like, so what? Now I got to worry about him grabbing a toothbrush and fashioning a shiv. I'm like, man.
I've seen toothbrushes with points on one end, razor blades melted into the other, pieces of fence, chain link fence that have been straightened out to points on them, 16 penny nails. I mean, parts of their bunks broken off and made into weapons.
Dude.
Yeah. I even had them coming up when somebody that I knew was bullying some of them would get shipped off. Officer Rodgers, could you look over there at the ice machine for about 10 seconds? Sure. And I'll look back, and there'll be 3 shanks laying right in front of me. And I'll look back at them. Our problem left.
Damn, bro. It's like, blink really hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You learn to read the situation. I could go into a dorm right now upon my initial round. Disney, no. I got a bunch left, and it's not going back in. If you can walk in and you feel the tension in the air, you better do something quick to put the attention on you or break it one way or another, or you're in for a bad night. I normally put the attention on me. I've been doing it long enough to know, for the most part, long enough to know how far I can push somebody. And is it the right thing to do? Probably not. But if I get 60 to 80 inmates going from tension to laughing, except for 1, maybe 2, and they're focused on me and get mad at me, I can pull them out of the dorm in 5 or 10 minutes, let them cool off, and tell them why I did it. It's like, "You're mad, aren't you? Rodgers, we're ready to beat your butt." I said, "Okay. You know why I did it?" "No." I said, "Y'all were about to have a big fight in the dorm, weren't you?" "Big fight." "Yes, sir, we were." "It's not going to happen now, is it?" "No, sir, it's not. Everybody's laughing and cutting up." I said, "Everybody but you. I made you my center of attention because, 1, you made it an easy target when you opened your mouth at me when I walked in. But all them laughing at you, they're laughing at you because I made fun of you in one form or fashion, cracked on you some way. You're the only one focused on me now. Everybody else is just having a good time."
I get that.
And you see it on their face. They're like, "Oh, yeah. Okay, Officer Rodgers. All right, have a good night. I'm going back there and make me a soup, and I'm watching TV and go to bed. All right."
Disney. Glad you won that, brother. So all right, I can only phrase it like this. How long did it take you to develop like your spidey sense when you were working your job?
I had some good trainers in it, but it takes time. It really does. You have to, how can I put it without saying, sounding. You have to know when to let certain things go. When I started, tobacco was allowed in the prison, then they took it away. A few months later, it was back in the prison. Shortly after that, they took it away again permanently. You catch them, and to this day, it's like if they're smoking, you're supposed, you handle the way you see fit. Well, writing somebody up for smoking, okay, a $5 DR on top of, whatever they paid for the cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can tell they don't care. Because what they do, they go and light another one up. So what I found best for me is, come here, man. And I walk them over to the bathroom. Go on and toss it in the toilet for me. Then, oh, come on, officer, come on. I ain't writing you up, but toss it, or you're going to have a bad night. Yes, sir. And they'll toss it. Because, like, say it was a pack of Marlboros. At one time, I'll put it like this. I asked somebody last year, because I saw some inmates literally taking a pinch of snuff out of their mouth, give it to another inmate, and then put it in.
Wow.
Like, you don't know what he's got out of this, that, and the other. Why are you doing that? Officer Rodgers, we got one can of Copenhagen in here. So you're telling me you got the contraband. Not only do I see it, you tell me it's still in here. Yes, sir. But will you pay $3, $4 for it? We have to pay $50. So if you make them throw it in the toilet and flush it, a cigarette, snuff, whatever, it hurts them more to do that than a $5 DR because they've lost more money by throwing that out.
Yeah. So speaking of that, how prevalent is, I don't know, the prison trade system? Because you hear all the time about honey buns and ramen, and like there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are former inmates who are telling secrets about jail. And this one dude was like, I knew I had it made when someone gave me a gift bag and it had a cup.
Yeah. It's all right. I'll put it like this. I'm bringing Dave Beard and Motivation up. The sleeve he's got.
Yeah.
That probably cost him, I don't know for a fact, but looking at the artwork, looking at the work and the time it took, $1,000 or $2,
Okay. Yeah, just for round numbers, sure.
Yeah. Inside a sleeve like that, just in black and gray. I've sat down and talked to some of the ones that do tattoos. I try to sit down and talk to some of them from time to time, and just by talking to them, you'll learn different secrets about how things really go on in there.
Yeah.
And he said a full sleeve, he might get $10 worth of ramen noodles, some honey buns, some coffee. They may throw in a few cigarettes, even though cigarettes are illegal contraband. I'm like, man. And some of the artwork, you've got talented artists in there, all forms of fashion, whether musically inclined, painting, drawing, writers. I had one inmate I talked to, and he kept coming down every day. Officer Rodgers, this needs to go to the mailbox. I got a deadline. I was like, deadline? He was writing columns or stories for Dungeons and Dragons magazines from his cell room and sending them off, and they were being published in the magazine.
Nice. I mean, that's got to be a nice little kicker on his books, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah. Well, if not to his books, he probably had it sent to his family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some talented folks in there. I've come across some drawings that there was one at Dooley. Every time I walked by the cell, the inmate was in the middle of his floor, like just big old sheets of paper laid out, doing his drawing. He did one called High Stakes. Beautiful piece of artwork. It was Robert E. Lee playing poker with Abraham Lincoln. with soldiers standing around, slaves standing around, and all that. Basically, it was like them uh, playing to see what side of the treaty was going to win for the Civil War.
Right.
I don't know for a fact. Rumor is that he had it shipped out, and a museum picked it up and displayed it. I don't know how true that is, but the quality of work that it was, yeah, I could see it.
Hey, Tomahawk, look up a couple things. I think Bobby Baden Bearded Casey covered that because of cancer lawsuits and other stuff. Okay, so how much do the inmates screw with other inmates when they're doing their artwork? I mean, because you see, and you see it all the time on TV shows. Oh, look, this guy's doing a really, really good thing, and someone's got to screw with him just for the sake of screwing with them. Is there any real truth to that, or
no? Not that I've seen, not where I've been. I'll put it like that. Because the artists that are doing the artwork, like the bigger pictures and stuff like that, that's how they make their money. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's. You see cards go up in windows that they've drawn, and the price will be like 3 soups and or a couple honey buns for a Mother's Day, Father's Day card. That's their hustle in the prison.
okay?
You got people that do tattoos, even though they're not supposed to, they do them. You got people that do the artwork. You got jailhouse lawyers. You got people that will literally make money by being housekeepers and making beds for people before inspection. It's just you get in there, and if you don't have money coming in, your family disowns you, or you don't have anybody on the outside to send you anything, you find a hustle to make you some money inside.
Nice. So
And
let's.
the money for them is store goods.
Oh yeah, commissary is life, from what I've heard.
Let the commissary go down for a week or two. You talking about tension? Yes, Lord.
I'm laughing because I remember like my time going in basic training where you had people coming in and you weren't allowed soda, you weren't allowed sugary foods, you weren't allowed anything, and people are like, so I can't even begin to imagine a guy who's doing a triple life sentence not getting his Skittles. That's just throwing it out there, But speaking of food, you hear all the time about inmates making stuff like prison burritos, prison pizza, prison wine. How prevalent is that? I mean, there's a YouTuber out there, Larry Lawton. Matter of fact, he went through a lot of the Georgia correction facilities, and he's got a whole video on how he used to make wine in his cell.
Yeah, very prevalent. Very. I can make. I'll use what I'm using for a spittoon. Well, I'll take it back. Take a 20-ounce soda bottle. You go to the chow hall. You eat your chow. You save your roll. Oh man, they got pineapple today. You take it. You finish up your drink. You pour your ice out on your tray. You put your pineapple in your cup, and you got your bread in your pocket. You go back. You fill up your bottle with water. You put the bread in there. You put the pineapple in there. You let it sit for a week.
Yeah, because you got your sugars in the pineapple, the yeast is in the bread, and everything else is going to take care of that. And I love Billy Rodgers. He's like, you probably got the best spread recipes, huh?
Hey, I'll tell you what. I've sat back. I've been that jerk officer. I've sat back and watched them make it. I sat back and watched them set up tattoos and took the gun from them. Because I was like, y'all ain't supposed to do that. I just wanted to see how it was done. Okay, thank you. Give me the gun. Come on, officer. You're not getting wrote up. Just give it to me. I'm getting it out the door. And, they get mad. They go off their separate ways. But within 20 minutes, you see everybody going back to that cell, which means he's done come out, went to another room, paid so many store goods, and got the motor he's needed out of somebody else's CD player, Walkman, and he had extra needles, and the handle of it is nothing but an ink pen.
Yeah.
So, prison system for small sentences.
Yeah, glide them out, never looking back. I know all the rules, so you don't mess with. Been there, done that. Nipple. Congrats, King Ginger. Seriously, congrats.
No, I mean, Ginger's right. Joshua was right. You do learn, just like we learn their ways, they learn ours, and you know, everybody's doing what they have to do. Guards, inmates, doesn't matter. You do what you got to do to make it through your time in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some officers that didn't need to be doing it. Some say I probably shouldn't have been doing it because of the way I do sometimes. But like I said, I'd rather have one or two mad at me than 96.
No, the odds are in your favor on that one. But when you're talking about the officers who shouldn't be doing it, how hard is it to get them removed? I mean, I know the prison system is much different than like a corporate structure. I really doubt that, oh, here's your write-up, here's your warning, here's your mandatory retraining, here's this, here's that. I mean, how easy is it to get a corrupt officer or a crooked officer removed? And Chris, how you doing, brother? Good to see you still out there.
I'm trying to think of how to put this because that's a pet peeve of mine.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying to piss you off.
No, it's not pissing me off. I mean, what they do pisses me off. Asking the question doesn't. When you have, say right now, our shift, I think, is fully staffed. We got 12 people when everybody's there for around 1,200 inmates. And the job's hard enough without you trying to make some side money bringing something in. If I catch you, I will look. If anybody ever from the prison system sees this, I will report your ass. I don't need you giving that much more percentage higher for me to come home and be able to go visit with my family. Just because you want to make a few extra bucks. And I had a good friend at a different facility. I was a gaming, Dungeons and Dragons type stuff on every other week on my off days and all that over at the local comic book store. And he come in and said he worked over at this facility, and they did a big bust here in Georgia. It made national news. And they caught him on camera with an undercover, asked him to keep bringing in money, even though people are bringing in stuff, how much he could make, and keep it up. Even if he left, was there any way he could keep getting the money? And they told him no, not unless he was willing to kill for it. And he said he would do it.
Night Vinny P. Man, that was friggin' stupid. Sorry. Really?
No. Yeah. And he is currently serving time in federal prison. We watch him every year as part of our training now when we start talking about corruption and that stuff like that. And it ticks me off because I befriended him. And he snuck that under my nose.
Yeah, it's like a personal knife in your back. I get that.
Yeah. And all I can say is I pray I don't see him when he gets out. I broke my hand several times over stupid stuff, but I took what he did personal.
I get that.
And friends of mine could have been hurt, possibly killed by the stuff he was bringing in. And so mad right now. You got tears for me. Just give me a second. Yeah. Would it be worth it to get a little payback? Yeah and no. Personally, yeah. Professionally, no. So, if he runs into me and calls me out on the street, I either turn and walk away or I'll, get ready to face consequences. And I'm not the only officer that feels that way. When they busted them folks, a lot of people I knew went to jail that got by with some stuff. Kids of former co-workers got put away, got arrested. People I trained that were damn good officers got arrested. And you never saw it coming.
Okay.
That hurts. I mean, it really does, because here you are, you hang out. Back then, corrections was a family. You would actually hang out with these people on your off days, even though you worked 6 days or 6 nights with them every week. You would go out to breakfast after shift, break bread with them before shift at holidays and stuff like that. Hell, I threw a big old party at the house one time for them. Had 250 people at my house from the prison.
Damn.
I mean, had a DJ in the backyard, everything. We did it up. And then some of the people that were at my house went to jail when they did that bus. I don't feel bad for them.
Looks like we got a question from up in the Great White North. Bushcrafting with Gerbs has said he hasn't been in trouble for 20 years, but he remembers when he was doing basically time on the weekends. He's asking, I will say in Georgia, do you guys have the point where they could do like their sentence on the weekends, or is it just?
I think it depends on the crime. I know for a while they did, because I literally hung out with people back in the day that was like, not too far from here, right around the corner from my parents' house. And they're about 1.5 miles, so probably 3 miles from here. It was a big field that it was horse show. And that's where we partied at, our bonfires and everything else. And
yeah,
we had a party one night, and it was like, why is it everybody here? We normally have a big crowd, but I meant like 100-something people pulled into the field that night. And, so-and-so's, we ain't going to see him for the next 3 months. He's got to serve time on weekends. What'd he do? Multiple DUIs. Okay. So he's going to come out here, drink, and drive home tonight, or drive himself to the jail. Good. This was before I was in corrections, and I was in that mentality of, really?
Well, okay, you see that a lot, like in mob movies, like Goodfellas and whatnot, where they're like, oh, I got to go turn myself into jail tomorrow, so I want to go in there high. I want to go in there, drunk. I want to go in whatever, so I don't remember it. And I get that, like, that initial in processing has got to be weird.
I don't get that at all. And it's no secret to anybody. If you watch the documentary on any prison system anywhere in this world, every last one of them says this, and I quote, it's easier for them to get stuff on the inside than it is on the outside.
I've heard that tremendously everywhere. Like I was mentioning earlier, I went down a rabbit hole once. I stumbled into this guy's YouTube channel. I think it's called Lockdown 23-1. And he was the first former prisoner turned YouTuber I found. And the stuff that he describes within the systems, I'm just like, wow. I'm like, how the hell do you make meth in jail? Like that just blows my mind, because you think controlled areas, you're moving people from point A to point B. Who's got that much time to make a chemistry set and hide it in a jail?
Yeah.
And I know you're probably going to go, dude, you have no clue. And you're right, I don't.
You got some brilliant people in there that made mistakes, did something stupid, and got time. They may have been inventing stuff on the streets, creating stuff on the streets. if they got the money coming in, they can pay somebody in the kitchen. They can pay somebody over here to get something, somebody over here to get something. You think about what all's in meth. It's common goods.
Yeah, it's really
over the
common medicine and whatnot.
Over the counter medicines, battery acid, stuff like that. They have batteries to work their radios, their tablets, because they have tablets now.
They can buy state issued or
state issued.
Really?
They can buy movies on them. They can communicate with certain members of their family. And yes, like I said, you got some people that are tech savvy too. And trust me, they figured out ways to hack them.
I wouldn't doubt it. I really wouldn't.
Every week, I'm in a few corrections pages on Facebook. Every week. Does anybody know what facility this inmate's from? He's posting live on TikTok. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook.
I'm sorry.
And they've got thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that.
And that's what kills me is how popular some of these inmates or ex-inmates are. I just, it boggles my mind where a dude's like, I ain't got to work. I'm just telling stories about my former career on YouTube. And he's got 1.5 million views on a video talking about making wine in jail.
Is that the white guy that tried to get the business going for, what was it? The little motor scooters and all that for ex-inmates to get when they get out?
I honestly don't know right now. All I know is just his videos and how he used to be a big
guy. I've watched some of his stuff, and he'll have former inmates that were locked up with him on showing how they make pizzas, how they make prison candy and stuff like that. Chris, give me just a second. This coffee, small bladder. I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Not a problem. I told you guys tonight was going to be different. Seriously, this is my 1,000th video on YouTube. And it's something strangely different than we've ever done on the channel, right? And let's see. Let's pull this up, man. I get that. Like, oh, yeah. Especially the homeless. It gives them somewhere like 3 hots on a cot. Gives them to be able to survive. Oh, yeah. You're in the prairies? Oh, damn. Oh, yeah. That's like brutal cold. Brutal cold. So, hey, Bobby, I know you're a guard as well. If you're still in the chat, bro, you want to drop in one of like your best success stories? I will never ask anybody who does this job like their worst or any first responder their worst. But if you want to share one of your best, can you throw it in there, guys? And yeah, we got some beard mail today. Got some Copper Johns, Bluegrass Trails. Stuff's different. Really, really different. And I will say this, for you guys out there who haven't tried Dirty Snow from Jolly Old Fat Man, give it a look. I was really, really impressed with it. Seriously, I was. Swag, my brother, how are you? Chris.
What's going on, Swag?
Asked the Pilar 3. Just got it in recently. All right. He's off Vancouver Island. All right, cool. All right, Billy, we're kind of at that 1 hour mark, so we're going to switch it up just a little bit, okay?
That's
we're
right.
Going to bring you into the lightning round and just ask you our usual goofy questions. Now, seeing how you already took the last 2 on Dagan's channel last night, I'm not going to ask you those, all right?
For those that wasn't there, it is, yes, I eat pineapple on pizza, and I like my steaks medium rare.
See, he just had to give that away last night. All right, Billy, are you a chicken or fish kind of guy?
Depends on where I'm at. I eat both.
All right. What about?
I would say unless it's a fish fry or I'm at the beach, it'll be chicken.
Nice. Are you a burger or taco kind of guy?
Man, what's today? Guess what I had for dinner? Taco Tuesday, baby.
You the man. You the man. All right. So those old-fashioned like Italian deli sandwiches that are stacked really tall, like meat cheese, you know, like the Scooby-Doo sandwiches or the old Dagwood ones. Yeah. Those are pizza.
I eat more of the sandwiches than I do the pizza.
Nice.
But that's only because I used to eat pizza dang near every night. So
I get that. All right. What's Billy's favorite music genre?
favorite. That's easy. Throw them up, guys. I'm a fan of the old '80s metal.
Nice.
I
All right.
mean, love it. Motley Crue, AC/DC. I mean, I listen to everything except for the new R&B and the new rap. But
Cool.
my favorite, the old '80s metal.
What's Billy's favorite movie?
Man, there's a lot. I'll give you my top 5 movies or series.
Go on.
No particular order. And the first one's going to be, and includes both Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series. I like the Harry Potter series, Star Wars, Tombstone,
Good one.
and it's funny, but I'll go back even on Disney Plus, and I still watch the old Fess Parker Davy Crockett movie.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, Billy, are you a baseball or hockey kind of guy?
Hockey,
Football or basketball?
college football only.
Okay. What's Billy's favorite song?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. There are so many I listen to, and I pull up on YouTube and I go through. So I mean, favorite song, man, I wouldn't know where to start.
Okay.
But I'll go back to my roots with it. Free Bird, Leonard Skinner.
That is a good one. That is a really, really good one. All right, man. Now, I know you do beer reviews and you do craft beer reviews and you do other stuff. So these next couple can apply to you. In your opinion, what is the most overrated men's grooming company in the game?
Black Rebel.
Who do you think is the most underrated men's grooming company?
Caleb Barker.
Oh, Barker's Beards is awesome.
Barker's Beards.
I love
that. That was my first video. And it may have been the first one on the product, and that was his Fruit Loop scent that I won on Dave's auction when I first got into the community.
Yeah, that one is awesome. And Brother Swag, right? Tonight was something really, really special. And I'm really glad he's given it the time and he's given out all his wisdom that he has from inside. We're going to get back there in a moment. All right, man. I ask everyone, because you got a beard, do you use biotin?
I did. I've used both Chesapeake and I've used Beard Octane for a while. I did a bottle of each, and I was happy with where I was at. I mean, nice. I haven't had a beard that long, just a few years, maybe 5 now. And for years, the only thing you could have was a mustache that could not come past the corner of your mouth in my line of work. But they did a charity. I had to pay $100 to grow this. The day before the charity event was over, I said that I'm going to wear it as a goatee for a weekend. So I shaved it to a goatee. And my buddy that lives a couple of units over was like, please tell me you didn't do what I think you did. I said, yes. I mean, I go back to work, Monday, and no sense in having it. I put it in goatee for them. Nice. Dude, they just called and said that they're going to let us keep them.
Doesn't it always work that way?
Yeah. Although they said we could have goatees, my superintendent at the probation detention center I was at said she would not allow goatees at her facility, so I had to shave it back to stubble and start the regrowth. And I didn't even shave it all the way. I mean, I kept it at like a week-old growth. It was uneven, the mustache and the beard, a little bit, but I normally keep the beard trimmed up so it don't go in my mouth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to me. It's to a point I don't give a damn what people think. And I think my line of work has helped with that a lot because I used to care.
Yeah,
I
no,
used to get butt hurt over about what people said about me. In fact, my parents, if they were on right now, I go by Shaky. They will tell you that I used to come home from school, elementary school, crying because of people calling me that. And now I've adopted it as my nickname.
yeah, see, once you own it, no one can take it from you, and no one can hurt you with it. And I think that's one of the greatest lines I ever heard off of HBO's Game of Thrones. He's just like, own it, accept it, embrace it. Because once you do that, fuck everybody else,
Bobby, I've not received kites on that. I've had them come up to me and talk. Officer Rogers, I'm in a bad place. I need to talk. Well, I pulled them out the dorm and talked to them for 2 to 3 hours. And, I told them some stories, some true, some not true. Whatever I thought would help them get through that. And, yeah. And I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I was at the PDC, had an 18-year-old kid. Wise ass, punk ass, whatever you want to call it. Young black man. He didn't want to do, he's straight violent, didn't want to do nothing but fight, cuss out the officers, this, that, and the other. And I got to the point, I said, fine, do what you damn do when you get out, but you're going to do what I say up in here or we can go. Officer Rogers, when I get out of here, if I ever see you, I will kill you.
Oh, wow.
I promise you that. I'm coming out off of a hospital detail. I get off the elevator, walk out the hospital. Officer Rogers. I turn and there he is. I've got doctors, nurses, everybody around me. I'm in uniform. And I saw who it was. I dropped my bag, squared up and said, I'm ready. Do what you got to do. I was ready to fight the man right there on the sidewalk. He came up to me. He stuck his hand out, shook my hand, pulled me in and hugged me and whispered, you saved my life. Thank you.
I see that was a question I wanted to ask you, something similar along those lines, but I didn't know quite how to phrase it. It's like, have you ever had that massive impact in an inmate's life to help turn them around? And you just answered that beautifully.
I've had it a few times.
And Bam, I see you, bro. Have a great night.
Before Bam takes off, if he's still in here, the music genre me and him enjoy, the hip hop, the country rap artists. I'm not saying who. I've had a couple of them.
Nice. Nice. All right, we're gonna move on with a couple more of these because I got some dad stuff I got to do tonight.
Oh yeah, you got to beat up monkey with the Nerf gun, huh?
You damn right. And the better half's downstairs, and we got to get rid of a couch soon. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun tonight. If you could only pick one men's grooming company for the rest of your life, who would you go with?
I'm going to be like everybody else. I'm going to combine it up for different reasons. Well, no. I'm going to take two. I'm just going to mention two. And I wear oil, but I'm a butter guy. I don't care. In fact, right now I'm wearing the old Chronic Wake and Bake, butter only.
Nice.
So Chronic and Chesapeake Vitality all day, every day. I love it. If I got rid of my whole collection, Chronic and Chesapeake would stay. And I don't even hardly wear the oils. I've got an unscented wear a lot of times.
See, I've been kind of impressed by this one today. The new Copper John's Bluegrass Trails. Damn camera won't focus. But still, I've been impressed by that one so far. All right, man, here's a weird one for you. What's your favorite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Nice. All righty, bro. Your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
And you answered the next one. I was going to be like, are you a bomb or butter kind of guy? And you're like, I'm butter all day.
I do wear bombs. I do wear bombs, and just not bombs make my beard feel tacky, a little heavy.
Yeah.
So I prefer butters, and a lot of times even just going to work, I stripped it before we got on tonight and just straight wake and bake butter in, and it's when he comes out with the well, it's buttered up. It ain't gonna open right now. I've got almost just the nipple left in this thing.
Nice. All right, man. Now the last two, seeing how you already gave two away earlier. All right, bro. I ask everybody this, and I call it the human resource question. Where does Shaky see himself in about a decade?
Retired.
I like the look in his face. He's like, retired, motherfucker. What do you think?
I've been trying for 2 to 3 years now to get a medical retirement, and everybody keeps giving me the runaround. I'd like to say that's my goal for the next 2 years to get out. If I keep my leave, I have less than 7 years to do to retire. I hope to be done within 2.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, it doesn't matter what I got planned, because He's got a plan for me, and if I get off track, what He's got going on, He's gonna put me back on there one way or another. Stuff.
Right, either the quick way, His way, or the really, really hard way, which will take a lot longer.
And God, I've been doing it the hard way. I've been doing it the hard way.
Oh well. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit of mental health here for a moment, because I do it all the time on my show.
Mm-hmm. I work in a mental health prison, so let's go.
I was going to say, here's a great guy to talk about it with, right? All right, bro. I know that we all get our boiling points. We all have our problems. I know in your line of work, it's got to be almost maddening at times. How do you unwind at the end of the day and not just be at home and be like, what the fuck?
I do that at work. I do. I lose my cool. Inmates will say, I did it the other night. They ticked me off so dang bad. I just turned around and there was a table. I was ready to hit something, so I punched the table. I was like, I hope I didn't break my hand again.
Joshua, Copper John's Bluegrass Trails. I got the butter in today, let it warm up, and just tried it a little bit ago, brother.
But I'm a firm believer. You get to that boiling point, step away. Even if you do it in the middle of a freaking dorm, just scream out, holler out. Tension breaker. Get it off your chest. You'll feel better. You don't have to yell or cuss out anybody. Just,
So you're a primal scream.
Back away because they realize you're crazier than they are.
So you're a primal scream kind of guy.
I have been known to, yeah.
Okay.
Once or twice.
I mean, that's a little different than some answers I've heard,
Yeah, but when I come home, and I say it all the time at work because they know that I film the craft beer stuff and all that. Even the inmates ask me, Rodgers, what beer are you drinking this morning? I have no idea. I got too many to choose from. And I'll come home and have a big old glass of milk, watch YouTube, and relax for about an hour and a half and go to bed.
Okay, now there's a good question. You say they know you film the videos. They know
that I drink. They don't know I do the videos.
Oh, okay. Has any inmate ever found you by complete accident by surfing YouTube? That you know of?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. But then again, you never know. I mean, we all see these accounts that come in hacked and everything else, or we like, who is that? And they, just like a fire stick and a cell phone, they get cell phones in there too. They got tablets and they hack them. I've gone in and actually caught them watching YouTube lives from people.
Nice.
But you have to pick how you do this. I, for one, 48, bad knees. I'm not fighting nobody no more. In my younger days, yeah, to get that cell phone, I'd fight you. If I had to, and just do the paperwork after. But now it's like, all right, I'll turn around and start walking away and shaking my head, and the other inmates, what's wrong, Rodgers? I said, didn't y'all yell 12 when I walk in? Every time you come in the door, we yell 12. They know you're in here. I said, well, and I'll say, well, y'all got a dumbass over there still on his cell phone talking to his family. We'll handle it, Officer Rodgers.
See, yeah, nice. And there's a good question from Amrit. How do you separate work mentality from going home? I mean, how does Billy shut that out, you know? Is there any easy way to do it, or?
I'm single, so it wouldn't matter if I bring it home because I live by myself. There are times I've had a conversation with myself all the way to the house, come in, sleep, and all the way back to work. Sometimes you can't let something go. If it affects you that much, I'm telling you, people going down the interstate must have thought I was damn crazy, or on a Bluetooth.
Yeah,
because I've cussed out supervisors all the way to the house, and they don't know a thing about me doing it.
Damn.
I've cussed out co-workers. I've cussed out inmates. I've cussed out myself.
Nice.
You just do what you have to do, as long as it's not harmful to you, to get what you have to get off your chest.
I get that.
Because needless to say, I may go in say I go in tonight and I cussed out my supervisor all the way home. He didn't know about it. I may have to go to his rescue sometime tonight.
Yeah.
So, and that's another pet peeve when people call for help, and I don't keep quiet about it at work. I am known for speaking my mind. If I see officers calling for help where I'm at, I technically can't leave my dorm unless it's life or death, unless I'm called, because I'm down the hill from the rest of the facility. But if I see the building beneath me calling for help, or I'm calling for help and I can see them on camera and they're all just strolling to get there, they gonna hear about it. And they have heard about it. Not that long ago, and I was, people were walking. I was like, I'm calling for assistance. Y'all walking over here? Bump all y'all. Next time, let them just do what they're going to do. It's not like I needed assistance.
Yeah.
You're pushing it, Rodgers. I was like, y'all put me in danger by walking. You damn right I'm going to speak my mind. Because what if he would have followed through with what they were doing or saying they were going to do? I couldn't have defended myself.
Yeah, see, and that's one of the things, and I'm glad I have you on tonight. I'm glad we're having this conversation, because you see on so many TV shows and movies and everything, oh my God, something's popping off and the whole jail is just flooded with officers. It's like, we have a problem right here. Everybody hauls ass at a high rate of speed.
That's how it is supposed to be done. That's how it used to be done. I was literally, before I went to the camp I'm at now, I went back to my original camp for a month. A new officer, female. I'm up on the top range of the lockdown unit, signing the door, making rounds, signing paperwork. I hear her come across the radio screaming, she needs assistance, she needs assistance. It sounded like they were coming after her. The officer downstairs didn't move. I was trained a different way. The people that trained me, some are retired, some are running facilities now. I ran down the stairs, ran 3 dorms over, and I got there the same time that the search sergeant got there. He looked at me and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm old school trained. You know that. When somebody's screaming, I'm going." We look back, here comes the rest of his team just strolling along. We busted open. 2 inmates are fighting right inside the door. She was trapped right there against her by the desk. She couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So she freaked out. And we walked in there. As soon as we walked in there, yelled, break it up. They broke it up. But
and Joshua,
we
bro,
had them handcuffed and we're taking them over to lockdown before anybody else got there.
Yeah.
Go. You don't. People tend to forget when you're in training, and they say if you can't remember all the codes, call 1010. People will come running. 1010 is a fight here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Or just say what's going on over the radio. And, you know, I don't care if you call it a fight, medical emergency, whatever. At least one other officer needs to run down there to get there to help get things under control while everybody else is strolling down there.
No,
It makes no sense to me. It never has, and I don't know why people started doing it. I guess they just got over it. But to this day, if I'll be walking out of the facility in the morning, already been relieved, and I'll see people running down towards the hole. Well, on my knees, I can't run hardly at all anymore, but I will if I have to.
Yeah.
I'll either walk fast or jog over there to see if I can help out. By the time I get there, they're like, we got it. I went just in case.
No, you got their 6, and I get that.
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. Watch your 6.
Yeah, and Joshua, bro, I understand, TV and reality is very, very different. Okay, my whole time on this planet, I've only ever spent 8 hours in a holding cell because I was a knucklehead one night. I've never been on the inside, never had an opportunity to sit down with a guard and have a conversation like I am right now. So I'm very appreciative, Shaky, for, what you've given me tonight. But Unfortunately, guys, we are at that point where we're going to start kind of wrapping it up. But I do say this in every single live feed. We're going to start simple. Shaky, what do you got coming up, bro? Anything you want to let go? Hey, I got these coming up. I got that coming up.
Yeah, sometime in the next few days, expect 1 to 2 videos. Maybe a 3-in-1, a 2-in-1, or a couple of 3-in-1s.
Nice.
Next 2 nights I'll be working, so unless I'm on hospital post, y'all won't. If y'all don't see me in a live, it's because I'm at work and not on a hospital post. If I'm at a hospital post, I try to get in and at least listen.
Yeah. All right, guys, and I do say this a lot, especially with COVID and mental health cases. The mental health issues are really, really on the rise. I saw a staggering number today. In 1 year alone, self-inflicted wounds because of quarantine and COVID and everything are up 120% in just like one area. They're so high. I get we're all going through things that we've never had to go through before. And I love making this joke, hey, welcome to the 1 year anniversary of 2 weeks to flatten the curve, because we've been dealing with this for about a year. But guys, if you're going through anything, talk to somebody, okay? If you don't have anyone you can talk to, put your ass in front of a camera, go live on Instagram, go live on your YouTube account, go live on Twitter if you can. Go live and talk, because you
Hit me up, guys. Hit me up.
Yeah,
and I know you're closing it out. Before we go, again for the chat, I found out right before the show, I am the 1,000th video for Chris. So y'all reach out to him on IG and everything. Give him a congratulations.
Thank you, brother. But I also love throwing this out there for everybody, okay? I lay these challenges out every single week when I'm closing it down. It's very, very simple. Reach out to 3 people this week and have a conversation. If you can't do 3, do 2. If you can't do 2, do 1. Call someone, because you never know. You just calling someone and going, hey, how you doing, can change somebody's life. It's that simple, guys. But guys, hold on. And that's why I love Chris. Honestly, that's why I love seeing you in here. Billy, Chris is a EMT out of the Baltimore, Maryland area.
Right.
And I know on a non-COVID related stuff, they go through hell. All right. I was stationed out in Fort Meade and Aberdeen Proving Ground for a very, very long time. So we've heard about the murder capital of the world. We've heard everything. So every time I see him leave a comment or every time I see him leave a message, it makes me feel better knowing he's alive and he's doing good, you know?
Yeah, and as far as that goes, the first responder rate goes, we're not as high as our military.
Yeah.
Though it seems daily, I'm seeing stuff on the correctional post where we lost an officer, a brother in blue, whether it be corrections, police, whatever. In fact, it might be national news, but I think it was yesterday morning we had a deputy killed just south of here, a few counties over, on a stop. So, prayers to that family and that department. I've known officers that have taken their own lives. I've known officers that were killed in the line of duty, and the hardest thing it is for me to do is have to put that black badge, that black ribbon over my badge.
Yeah.
I've lost some close friends over the years. Some good coworkers gone way too soon.
But guys, when you're saying your prayers tonight, irregardless of how you feel about first responders, keep them in your prayers. Just peace, mercy, all that stuff. But guys, we're going to kind of wrap it up here. I say this in every video. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for what you brought tonight. And guys, we're going to see you in our very next video, which is going to be out tomorrow. All right, let's roll that little outro. Guys, thank you so much for the time you just gave me. I hope you enjoyed our guest tonight, if we had one, and yes, I'm pre-recording this, or that you might have enjoyed an open mic night or whatever the heck just happened. We're going to try to do these every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and whatever you guys are in between and around the world. Next week, we should have another amazing guest or something really cool for you to watch. Thanks so much for watching all this stuff, guys, and we'll see you in our next one.